Hello, hustlers. Today we are going to be talking about NIO. Is it good or is it bad? Is it a wise investment? Too late? We'll talk about all those things. And short answer, is it good or bad? Is that the current events that's happening around NIO makes it look positive. So overall, it looks like positive. Short answer, but let's see why and what we need to be really mindful of. That's what we're going to see today. All right, so where is the NEO price? It is as of end of 2020, like 1/1/2021, it was at 48 dollars and change. But it did touch 56, dropped down a couple of times to the low of 39 before coming up to 48 something where it closed. All right, looking at this chart, it's gonna give us an idea of where the stock price is with respect to where it was before. It did go really up pretty nicely, and then had a big pullback here. Earnings, they did beat the earnings, ran up, came down, touched the 38 something, a couple of times, and then it's stuck between this box at this time. But otherwise, except for this pullback, it's still 48. I mean, it just came up from 39. It doesn't look massive, but it is from like 39 to 49. If you look at this is a weekly chart, by the way. So if you look at the 52 weeks, this pullback looks pretty normal, very normal, and then it's not even crashing or anything like that. So you don't have to worry about it. But this $3.79 to $48 is a 12 times the 1200% run up, which is crazy. That's why a lot of people think it's gonna pull back and obviously crash. Some of the companies are research firms are targeting it at like $10, $12 somewhere here, but let's see if that's a realistic target. Okay, talking of which, Citron Research came out not long ago, like a couple of months back, and then they basically said $12 target, and then they had their reason why this is not like Tesla. So this research, they're not trying to tell you, hey, you just have to get out of it or anything like to save your investment. They're only trying to do this, and then there is an angle that they put this out. They'll have their short position and people panic sell, and then they can probably close out, right? So there's something that you need to know. I'm not saying that they are doing it or that's their whole idea, but it's possible. So if you have a financial incentive on the short side, so it's for them to put their short report and make a case as to why it's worth $12 or it will go to $12, and then any price pullback, they can just profit off of it. So you need to be mindful, and coupled with the delisting of Chinese stocks from the U.S. exchanges was also a panic in the November-December timeframe. So probably I think both those contributed to the pullback that you see from the 57. All right, and as you can see, this is 13th of November. This vertical blue line is when their research came out. Citron Research came out with this short thesis, and the stock went from, I think it opened at 51, just came down all the way to I think 40 something, and then went up. However, since it just found a great bottom here, one, two, three, multiple touches around 38. I think it's safe to assume that $38, $39 is a very good support. For anyone to buy. I'm not saying that you should buy. This is not a recommendation. I'm just saying, based on just the technicals, 39 seems to be a very good support for NIO. Things that makes NIO positive is or some of the items that I have here. I think Bank of America put a research report recently. I didn't get a chance to go over in depth, but they had a lot of great points, and they are positive about the stock. The main point was expansion into the European market. And just generally talking to some of the investors and some of the core enthusiasts, I have a great feel, especially in the EV segment. People are looking, even in the United States, people are looking to get their hands on NIO. It's not here in this market, it's not in Europe or Australia or any other developed nations. However, NIO understands that. He got into, I believe it was Norway. There were some talks, and I also read a Baron's article that they are getting into Norway, or it was, I think, Forbes. I can't remember. So it's not a rumor anymore. It's for sure they're going into Norway. And also, someone on Twitter posted that um, NIO is hiring a whole bunch of people in Norway. So they have job postings all over in the name of NIO. So that kind of confirms that they are expanding into Norway. Maybe that's going to be their um, hub within Europe, or maybe they just found the low-hanging fruit being Norway. I don't know what, but they are going into Norway, and obviously they're just going to expand into Europe and then take over that market in a positive way. And then from the manufacturing side of it, um, there was some article I read somewhere that said they are ordering, or they are partnering with some Korean parts manufacturing company, and then there is a pending order for 60,000 units on of specialty brakes, or that's just for the 6 months. But this is a positive thing. They just expanding. They're probably expanding to Europe from a geographical location. We also know that they were expanding because they're just ordering more parts from their suppliers. These are all great news. Now let's come to the target. Ignoring the short sellers, what's the general consensus on Wall Street? I think Bank of America covers NIO, and then there are like a few other companies, or they are just getting into. More companies are actually trying to start their research. But here's the good news, right? Bank of America, I think it said a range of 55, 54 to 59, something that range. So their price target for 2021 is 59. So from it is at 46, so it's going to 59. That's like another $12 increase. And then Bank of America is a little conservative, and they are trying to be conservative with their estimates. So they just don't want to say it's like 65 or 75 or something like that. So I think that's what they're thinking, but they wanted to be a little more conservative in their estimates. So they are saying 59. That's my thinking. But in any case, this is the published target for 2021. So that's 59. It still has some runway to go for the next year. It is going to appreciate. That's what they're saying. However, we all know stock will do whatever the stock does. It'll go up, go down, and you have to pick and choose your spots where you wanted to do your acquisition, and when you want to diversify, sell, book profits, you need to have your own targets. And 59 is not a bad target, in my opinion. Around $60, you should be selling some of it. When it pulls back, you should buy. That's trading. And also there is a catalyst. There is an event on January 9. They are gonna reveal more products. I'm assuming it's more line of products, like more cars, more models. They might have announcements around markets that they were expanding. So there's a lot of hype around that. January 9, you have to be careful. That's just less than a week away. The next item that I have is about the car itself. So this is all about the company, right? What's the product? How is the product performing? So the company is innovating, right? The company is seriously spending time and energy in increasing the car's performance. In essence, they're just increasing I think their version 2 has a better driving range because of their upgraded technology in the car. And also, this is another big news. They signed a deal with the Chinese government. That's what the news said, to expand their charging stations, which also is their battery swap stations. So they basically they're going and increasing their footprint within China. So they will be a dominant player. The experience in swapping the battery, obviously they're selling more cars, and then obviously there's more. Um, Even though I think their swap time is like 3 minutes or 5 minutes or something like that, very small, uh, they need to have enough charging stations within the battery swap station for them to remove the battery and charge. So they need to have enough time to charge. While swapping is easy, charging will still take a few hours. So they are building a lot of these charging stations, which will also be the battery swap station, that will actually decrease the range anxiety for anyone buying NIO, especially at least in the Chinese market. So that is definitely a very positive improvement, regardless of the range. As long as they have a lot of charging stations, and they can swap the battery in like 3 minutes or less, and if there is in no long wait times in each of those charging stations. If the average wait time is like a couple of minutes and then swapping is 3 minutes, it's a deal killer for all the other manufacturers, and NIO will just dominate the market. Um, and here's the other thing that I see in the community is people. I'm a big, huge fan of Tesla. I'm not a fanboy, but a fan of Tesla. But you cannot compare NIO with Tesla. NIO is not Tesla. You cannot even compare this with Tesla. Tesla's products are, it's something else. NIO is also a great car. It's a great company. And then people, what I see is like they are trying to. I think the Citron research came out. They were talking about. I think this piece of information that I have on the slide, which is, hey, NIO, the Model Y equivalent, I guess it's the ES8, is $65,000 versus Model Y is going to be 50,000. It's going to be way cheaper, and hence NIO will not sell so much. I don't know if that argument is true. So Model Y, this is the base model, and obviously their performance model is like $55,000 or $60,000, pretty close to this one. And this 65,000 is the base model, but that's before the subsidy. So if you apply the subsidy, this is going to significantly come down, and then the price difference between these two is not that much. And then when you have like a 3 minutes swap with respect to NIO, you can still lease the car. In that case, it's going to be way cheaper to lease the car and just drive. So for people to just buy NIO, especially in China, is a no-brainer. Even if they cannot afford Tesla, they can still afford NIO. I'm thinking NIO has a lot of potential in China, so I don't think demand is a problem at all to the market. So they have a clear strategy. Their design is like top-notch. I think they're even hiring um, local. All I'm saying here is use caution. I am not your financial advisor. I'm not taking any responsibility. And in any case, I will tell this: you will have to diversify to some extent. Do not just put all um, your investments into like all the money into a couple of investments. You definitely need to have a bunch of diversified investments within your portfolio. Uh, and these companies are high growth companies, so it might take off and give a 12 times rate of return, or it might just crash and then you'll be left with like 50%, 40% of your investment. Both can happen, will happen, has happened. So in any case, my mantra here is earn a lot, save, and invest wisely, and be prosperous. And that's all I have for today. Have a happy 2021. Thank you for watching.